Well, it's about time I finally started to cover one of the most controversial video games of all time.
What? Tell us!
This is Spore.
Oh.
And while I won't be reviewing the base game, nor the Galactic Adventures expansion pack today,
Why, you son of a bitch.
we'll be instead checking out the smaller DLC, Spore, Creepy and Cute. This DLC adds new parts to play with for your creatures that are mostly creepy and very few cutesy. So let's get this over with and move on to more actual games, cause let me tell you, tomorrow's video is gonna be full of a lot of fun. That was probably the most fun review I put together in a very long time, and I hope you get to see it. If YouTube doesn't age restrict it.
Let's begin.
The entire concept of this DLC is just more parts to create creatures with. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. This means there's no new parts for vehicles or buildings. Instead, it's just a few new legs, arms, hands, feet, eyes, mouths, and detail parts that give you the sprint ability, charm, and more health.
What's wrong with that?
This is all you get for the asking price of $20 back in the day, and is still priced at the same point when bought separately. Thankfully, if you get it on GOG like I did, I got the entire Spore collection for less than $10 after tax on sale. Otherwise, the entire collection is a whopping $30.
Dad, it's a scam!
So yeah, you get like a total of 60 parts for the creature creator. Now in theory, this sounds like a lot. Till you remember, this counts each hand, foot, arm, leg, eye, mouth, and detail part. There's 3 categories of themes. While it's called creepy and cute, there's a third theme called goofy.
Natural enemy, I don't know why I should care.
When you look at the overall list of parts, it's not that bad, but really, how often are you personally going to be using these parts? I barely do, unless I'm making monstrous creatures for Galactic Adventures, as I enjoy making horror-themed adventures. So for me, this alone isn't worth buying. Oh, and I also forgot to mention the new paints that come with this DLC.
Shit! Dumb shit!
There's a whopping 48 new paint scripts available in the DLC. These I do enjoy a lot more than the actual parts, since some of these are very metal. I mean, you got literal flesh skins, veins, and Frankenstein's monster thing stuff. You also have 2 new backgrounds in the creature creator during testing, and 24 new animations. These only really appear in the creator tool when testing things out and not in-game. But whatever, overall, the amount of content is just okay.
All you getting is wah, wah, wah.
Once you make your creatures and get into the gameplay, you'll notice nothing has changed. Since you can't make and play with creatures in the creature stage using these parts, only if you start from the beginning, locating all the pieces and reproducing to edit your creature, can you use them. It's all a load of bullshit, really.
I agree.
Only the tribal stage onwards, to which makes it pointless, since at these points in the game, you're using actual weapons and vehicles. So why is it that once I create one of these creatures with the creepy and cute pack, I can only use them in tribal onwards? It's pointless. Hell, in the civilization stage, you'll be literally nuking the entire planet into submission if you choose the violent route during the tribal stage.
Excuse me, what?
So what's the appeal of this DLC outside of Galactic Adventures.
Hey, okay, we get the point.
Please, for the love of God, if you buy this separately on the EA app or Steam, get it on sale. There's barely anything here to justify 20 whole freaking dollary dues. I could barely even put together a script for this DLC.
Not the beast!
That's how lackluster it is. That it's barely reviewable.
Indeed.
What can you even say? It's $20 for something that should have been a free update, or at the worst, only $10. And even then, that's a bit too much. Now, had they included actual weapon parts to give creatures new ways to fight, then I'd say it could have been better. Cause at that point, we'd have actual gameplay stuff. Imagine new creepy, goofy, and cute weapons that creatures can use to attack each other, or even more social options.
Dreaming.
Eventually, I'll get to Spore and its other expansion, Galactic Adventures. But for now, this will have to do. I mean, there's a lot more to Spore than meets the eye that will make a very long video from. Yes, I know just how much you guys love those long reviews. That's why they always fail the most in comparison to the shorter videos. Anyways, then the Galactic Adventures expansion pack literally adds to the game with a shit ton of content. They even made the worst stage, the space stage, actually worth playing, as now your captain can earn experience points, rank up, get new parts to make adventures easier, let alone actually possible. Playing all kinds of pre-made and user-made creations. You can even make your own adventures, to which of course that means tons of zombies, horror, RPGs, and war stuff. I made one too many Resident Evil type adventures back in the day, and still do, but I also really enjoy doing things like D-Day. At the end of the day, Spore, creepy and cute, is a mediocre DLC that offers barely any content for a huge price tag, which is very in line with EA. Had this not come packaged with the GOG release of Spore and the Spore collection, I'd never waste my money on it. This is a get on sale or get it bundled together with the base game of Galactic Adventures expansion pack type of ordeal. I'm eager to one day cover Spore and its other expansion. Till then, this was just a quick video to get this meh DLC out of the way. Anyways, that's it for this video. See y'all later. Finally, we're going to review Spore, Galactic Adventures. After playing around with this expansion pack and looking at it more in depth than ever before, I can say without a doubt that Galactic Adventures is the best thing about Spore. Now let's discuss as to why. The concept of Spore Galactic Adventures is simple. You can now create and play adventures where your own captain can go explore different worlds, complete goals, fight, collect, solve puzzles, and more, giving players more of a reason to play the space stage.
Finally!
As your captain from that part of the game can now go on adventures themselves, earning experience, ranking up, and unlocking new parts to give your captain better chances of completing future and more challenging adventures. It's all just so much stuff to play with, and I cannot wait to get more into it within this video. First off, we'll need to make a captain, which is easy. Just take any creation from any stage you want and then begin editing them. All parts are available by default here. You can give them all kinds of weapons, health and energy boosters, social boosts, and even movement abilities like jet boosters. Making a captain that focuses on a certain thing like social might not be wise if you go on a violent adventure, as they'll be more vulnerable. Yet if they're too focused on fighting, they won't be much use in a social adventure, so finding balance is key. Abilities do not stack, so don't go using both health boosters or energy regenerators. Any captain made here will not get any experience points, rank up, or be usable in the space stage. Instead, they can just be used in quick play adventures in the main menu. Just something to be aware of. Now, let's get to making the adventures themselves.
Finally.
Making adventures is so much fun and simple. You don't need to know how to script or animate or code or program or anything. Nope. Much like RPG Maker or FPS Creator / Game Guru, you just play stuff and play the game. Though you can of course make things more in depth if you want, like creatures moving to a certain spot or patrolling around. Maybe you have to collect something and bring it to some place while platforming. I mean, there's room for expansion if you want more in-depth stuff, but it's not one of those unfriendly editors that scares 99.9% of people that try it off in the first few seconds. If you want to, you can even change up the planet, turn your adventurer into an ice giant, or even a fire giant. Who wants to go to Mustafar?
I do.
You can set up what flora appears, the atmosphere density, water level, if it's cold or hot or in between. You can make the world hazardous to just be on, causing your health to decline over time, or to disable it altogether. You can change up the gravity even, so you can run around on a moon. It's fun changing up the theme of the planet, or even just altering the terrain, creating new mountains, volcanoes, rivers, lakes, oceans, and more. The editor just has so much to offer its user. It can be as simple as you want or advanced as you want. Placing objects can be a bit finicky depending on what you're doing. Using keyboard shortcuts to alter the scale of objects and creatures as well as the height of its placement. So you can make bridges in the air or giant creatures to fight. Remember epics in the main game? Those things were a nightmare in creature stage. Tribal, not so much, and after that, they became a joke. Well, you can scale any creature in the editor you want and make them into epics. If you want a progression to your adventure, you can add acts. By default, there's only one. Each act can host 3 objectives to complete. You have an intro, act, and outro stage. Set up goals to complete, like defend something, kill something, collect something, befriend something, move to something.
Ooh, so many choices!
Making adventures is just so much fun. Creating various themes like relaxing ones, collectathons, social events, or even all-out frickin' warfare and genocide. Whether you want it to be themed after a certain thing like horror, science fiction, modern, prehistoric, Wild West, medieval fantasy, you name it, it's all up to you as you're the creator. The power is yours.
I am God!
Of course, you're going to want to playtest your creations before you're done. In the testing phase, you can control things better for debugging, like completing objectives that can't be completed, such as if the enemy you need to kill was flagged as an ally instead, or your captain cannot move towards a certain point because of the terrain or something. Playtest your creations thoroughly, and be sure to save often along the way. So when it comes to actually playing adventures, I'll agree with LGR here. The creature stage controls are a bit clunky, with adventures being more advanced form of gameplay. That adds up. It's not dreadful as LGR made it out to be, but it's noticeably not great. I still love this expansion in game though, don't get me wrong at all. Just be wary going in as a newcomer. You're going to be fighting the controls a bit, especially the camera at times. Otherwise, it's perfectly serviceable and most importantly, fun. But not all adventures and captains are created equal. As such, certain adventurers will not be the right pick for your captain. You may find your pacifist religious zealot creature who focused on socializing throughout its evolution at the end of some other creature's plasma blaster or jaws/claws. Some adventures are better suited for different creatures, like a tall human-esque one will have an easier time moving around or over something than something that's shorter or even legless. Or if your creature doesn't have a whole lot of health, it may end up being blasted to worm food. Though, depending on which adventure it is, you might find it short but sweet. If you speed run through things, it may be even less than a minute. It's all up to the way you play, but for me personally, I haven't played an adventure that took more than roughly 12 minutes tops. These things may appear intimidating at first. They're not, and that's a good thing if you ask me. You don't want something to overstay its welcome, as even something great can wear down over time and become something dreadful, like rewatching your favorite YouTubers over and 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 over again until you're sick of them. Sorry, Civvy11, #FreeCivvy.
Oh, hey, Civvy.
You got so many different possible adventures and themes. I love it. You could go from escorting someone from zombified creatures on a moon to help an army stop a war with diplomacy, or just slaughtering soldiers in a galactic war, exploring a zombie-themed city or mansion, fighting in an arena, or attempting to escape a fiery maze. I cannot stress this enough. Galactic Adventures is quite possibly the best thing about Spore in general. It just fleshes things out and gives your creations more value and allows for more creative freedom than ever before. Plus, who doesn't want yet another D-Day in a video game? They also finally made the space stage worth playing. The worst stage in the base game has become, well, not the best, but certainly not the worst. Nowadays, I absolutely hate the cell stage most of all, followed by the tribal. More on that in the Spore review itself in the future.
But wait! There's more!
Anyway, so yeah, if you play the space stage, you'll make your captain and do what you normally do, except once you request a mission from another empire, you may get an adventure, travel to the designated planet, and beam down for some fun. If your captain is new, you'll get 2 tutorial adventures to complete first. The spaceport, where you will get to know the basics of the expansion pack, and Adventure Town to learn more mechanics, which is where I was for years confused as to how they allowed you to teleport into buildings. Turns out you make building parts and combine them together, make a teleporter and place it inside and out. You can then have the illusion you entered that specific building.
Of course!
But in the end, this makes me actually want to play the space stage. It's fun playing Maxis made in my own creations here. It gives me something to do besides scroll up forever to zoom in and scroll down forever to zoom out as I move around the stores, trading spice. God, this space stage still fucking sucks.
It sucking fucks, it fucking sucks, it fucking blows, it's a piece of shit, and I don't like it.
Every time you complete an adventure, you'll get experience. Maxis made ones are 100 points. Your own are 10 points. If you go online and download other creations, they will vary in points depending on how difficult the adventure is. Once you rank up, you'll get a new title for your captain, plus the ability to select a new part.
Tell me more.
There's a total of 32 parts to unlock. If you want a certain one, you'll need to unlock stuff before it. This is a con that can hinder your experience if you're not careful, as certain adventures benefit certain kinds of creatures, like those that can jump or fly, let alone are tall and can walk over things better. Plus, if your creature has more health, that will benefit you early on until you can unlock health regeneration boosts. You got things that can give you improved socials or attacks, whether you need a rocket launcher to blow up crowds of enemies or the ability to sing. Like I said earlier, your created adventures will only net you 10 points for completing it, as you cannot get more experience for repeating the quest, so each adventure is a one and done per captain in terms of rewards.
What the fuck?
Thankfully, you can still play them again, but you won't be rewarded for it. So get to downloading more creations offline or creating more of your own.
God f***ing damn it!
Lastly, before we move on to the other section, your progression will rely heavily on user-created content online. I have no interest, as it auto-shares all of my own creations against my will. Plus, you will auto-download stuff for you by the game by default, and you have to delete stuff once you disable this. So I'm stuck playing several dozen self-made adventures just to rank up to what? Only 10 ranks total? Yikes, so you're really restricted on what you can unlock because of this. So if you want a certain part towards the end of the unlocks, you're going to be taking on parts you don't want and be stuck with very little options. Youch. Did not realize that.
Oh, not so good, huh? Not so good.
I wanted to review Spore around the same time as this expansion, but
These things, they take time.
so for now this will have to do. Besides, Spore isn't exactly a tiny game, and each stage will take a while to get through, so eventually I will review Spore, so I can make another compilation for later on in the year. Sorry for not Asian parenting myself enough.
You doctor yet?
No, Dad, I'm 12.
Talk to me when you doctor.
At the end of the day, Spore Galactic Adventures is my favorite part of the game. Sure, it's a bit jank and lackluster in some parts, and sure, I wish we had more expansions to add on to the game and complement Galactic Adventures further, but for what it is, it's a near great expansion to a near great game. Spore has its faults, but it's such a unique experience we have yet to see replicated to this day. That's part of why this game still sells and has an everlasting community that continues to play and create to this day. Spore Galactic Adventures just makes things even better, as we can now engage in various types of adventures, from action to puzzle to platforming or simple relaxation. Galactic Adventures is well worth playing, and one day I will eventually cover Spore itself. But for now, anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later. Yes. It's finally time to cover Spore, a game that I first played back in high school after an old friend showed it to me. I was so intrigued by the game that I got it in its expansion packs from a Best Buy one day and got to experience the horrors of internet DRM registration to even play the damn thing. But afterwards, I was having so much fun just creating, evolving, conquering the planet, and eventually entire star systems.
Intriguing.
Trying to make all kinds of freaky creatures, vehicles for warfare, buildings to decorate my civilizations, and starships to explore where no creature has gone before. Remaking games with galactic adventures, exploring different planets with their own themes, like a fantasy RPG or survival horror zombie experiences. I was addicted to Spore and its expansions for years, before eventually finding myself no longer interested.
Shit the fuck!
Then, eventually, I found myself getting back into the game, to only lose access to it because EA hates the idea of you buying and playing a game, so they revoked access to my copy of Spore and its DLC. I even tried to use Steam to only be told no, you cannot use that copy either. So eventually, I bought the Spore collection on GOG, to which I've been hooked again, enjoying such a unique game.
You're goddamn right.
Despite its controversial past, to which I will not go into details, you can look it up yourself. Spore is a strange game that just has something about it that makes it something worth playing. So let's finally take a look at what that is by exploring the entirety of Spore. So, what is Spore? Spore is a 2008 simulation game created by Will Wright and Maxis. It was Wright's last game before quitting the gaming industry. The game was originally supposed to be more realistic, educational, in-depth, but that didn't happen. Everyone threw a tantrum like Gen Alphas when they can't watch Cocomelon. Spore became the most pirated game of all time back in the day. It was reviewed decently. The people who expected the original still proclaim Spore as one of the worst games of all time. Meanwhile, us normal people see Spore for what it is. A unique gem that has yet to be replicated.
Explain yourself.
Going from a cell in the ocean to a space-traveling empire, evolving across 5 stages of cell, creature, tribal, civilization, and space. Along the way, your actions will reflect what you'll end up becoming based on the ideas of peace, violence, and in between. Whether you're a herbivore, carnivore, or omnivore, socializing, killing, or both, trade, genocide, or religious conversion, your actions will grant you abilities and set you on different paths accordingly. Now it's time to finally get into the game by selecting a planet, choosing our cell's diet of plant or meat, and finally begin playing Spore. Once you hatch from your meteorite, it's time to begin life. Swim around, avoid predators, eat the cell food according to your diet, red for carnivore and green for herbivore. As you swim around, you'll find meteorites with new parts, as well as other cells with unique parts that you may want. If a carnivore eats them, they'll drop that part, or if you do so too. Eat, grow, survive. Welcome to the cell stage. And yeah, it's slow and boring. It's easily one of my least favorite stages, yet it's not as terrible as some later stages are, but more on those when the time comes. For now, we gotta evolve. Slowly, ever so slowly, we grow over time. Eventually, you'll find yourself unlocking several parts and maybe want a better chance of survival, so you can call a mate. Now we can edit our cell creature to help us shape what they'll start to become as we approach the creature stage. Within this editor, we can choose their body paint, color, and of course parts, making us faster, giving them poison to become immune to other cells' poison, maybe giving them both mouths so they can become omnivores. The possibilities are endless as you sculpt your cell over the stage. Eventually, as you grow, once your bar fills entirely green below you, you can now evolve as your brain has grown. It's time to grow legs and walk on land. It's time to become a full-fledged creature. Alright, time for a small taste of the creature creator. Here, we can make our basic first incarnation. With only a small selection of parts and no arms, only legs. Our goal should be to equip them with whatever parts we need for our playstyle. Do you want an apex predator? Or possibly a peace, fast-moving social creature? Make what you desire, and let's begin playing the best stage in this game. Creature Stage. There's two ways you can evolve during the creature stage. The first one is peaceful through socialization. You play a minigame matching each action the other creature does. So if they dance, you dance. If they sing, you sing. Every time you succeed, the relationship gauge begins to fill. The right side is their side, the left side is yours. Yet only you can go over the middle of the bar at the top. If your social parts are a low level, however, against the creature's higher level, well, you're not going to be making any friends. The second way you can evolve is genocide. Who knew genocide was profitable? Find a nest, kill all of the creatures till you get a certain amount of kills, and they're now extinct, forever gone from the game. Yep, you can bring entire species to extinction. In other words, you're now playing as a British explorer. Controlling the creature is simple. Using WASD to move, camera is controlled by the mouse. Same with selecting things. Spacebar is your jump/fly buttons. Hotkeys 1 through 4 are your social and combat actions. It controls well enough. It feels like it can work better at times here than in Galactic Adventures, especially because you're not exploring buildings and stuff here. Plus, it also depends on your creature's design. Some are just a pain to play as, so be careful when making creatures certain kinds of creatures. Ah yes, the combat. You gotta talk about the combat. How else can you talk Spore without the warfare, genocide, extinction, and oppression of others through ruthless tyranny? Running around, slaughtering other creatures is very simple. Just select who you want to kill, then proceed to hit any hotkey tied to a combat skill you have. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Each has a cooldown, so be careful as each one varies in time. For example, charge is the slowest, but bite is the fastest to cool down. You have bite, charge, strike, and poison, but of course this all depends on your parts you have equipped, as not all hands can use strike, and not all feet allow you to jump or charge attack. Just like social parts, combat parts have different levels, meaning different amounts of damage. So, having high damage claws that can strike will make you dangerous up close, but an enemy with level 5 poison can hit you from afar, leading your health to dwindle fast. So pick your targets carefully. Never go after anyone who might pose a huge risk if your creature isn't really ready for it. Same with socializing. Overall, it's a fun system, and easily creature stage is my favorite stage altogether. I just like the more engaging gameplay of it. As you explore, you may hear giant monster roars. No, Godzilla isn't here. Though you can make him if you want to, or just download him off the Sporepedia online if you choose to go online. I don't. I prefer doing things myself. Anyways, you can look around to come across a giant monster. Yep, that's a kaiju alright. Or in Spore's lore, an epic. Epics are giant powerful creatures that hunt everything, including other epic creatures. They kill everything in a single hit. So don't go thinking you can easily take them on. Even if you evolve enough to become stronger, that is a monumental achievement to even pull off if you can. I rarely ever do because I like to not die all the time, let alone lose my followers. Eventually, after you earn enough DNA points, you might want to change up your creature. To do this, you need to go to your nest and look for a creature that looks like it's DTF. If you can't find one, use the mating call and interact with the dripping wet creature, and watch the miracle of birth. Now we can edit our creature. This will change everyone too, so whatever you look like after exiting your nest will change also. But if you do decide to mate, even if you don't really alter your creature, you can trigger a new event, the migration. After hatching, there's a mini game you can skip. Just match what the other creature does enough times and that's that. You'll grow up, but now you gotta go searching for the rest of your species. So follow the trail they made migrating, and eventually your creature will find a new home with the rest of your kind. It's time to claim this nest as yours and continue playing. As you explore the world around you, you can find bone piles. These are where you can obtain new parts. These are scattered all over the place. Sometimes near your nest, out in the open, hidden behind stuff like trees, plants, and bushes, or even rocks. You can even find them around other creatures' nests, which might not be a good idea to approach if they're not exactly friendly. They may end up attacking you immediately or after a few warning growls. You can also earn parts by socializing or killing the alphas of any creature you come across, so be sure to explore and make your creature more powerful for the end goal. So, what is the end goal? Simple: evolve, earn DNA points, and evolve. Grow larger, stronger, and eventually become so much smarter. Your brain grows to the point it knows what tools, fire, and Unga Squad means, leading you into the next stage of evolution in Spore, the tribal stage. Once you begin the tribal stage, there's no more customizing your creature. It's over. After the very last chance after evolving, instead, now all you can do is decorate your Spore creature with cosmetics. Yet, at least during the tribal stage, your outfit pieces come with stats, whether it's a hat, mask, shoulder pad, or body armor. Each one has a level on it for combat, gathering, social, and health.
No shit.
You cannot stack these stats, so whatever has the highest level is what will affect your creature in game. The rest is purely cosmetic. You're going to want to wear this stuff, even if you find them stupid or pointless, because they can and will make a difference. Your creature will gather more food, will have more health, dole out more damage, and help you with socializing better so you don't need so many people to go with you during the social events. But onto the gameplay itself.
Jesus Christ! Finally!
Depending on your creature's diet, you'll have a few options for food. Food is your currency. Need to build a new hut full of weapons, tools, or instruments? You need food. Want to hatch some eggs and increase your tribe's population? You need food. Want to give a gift to another tribe to ease tensions? You need food. Want to tame some wild creatures into pets so they can lay eggs for you? You need food. There's several means of gathering it too. You can gather fruit, fish, hut creatures, steal from other tribes, gather seaweed if you're a herbivore instead of fish, and of course, eggs from pets.
Guys, stop! You're giving me too many options. I'm only one man here.
With the food, you can build huts. Each hut has its own equipment assigned to it. What you get is dependent on your diet. You can see a chart on screen, if I remember to even put it on there during editing. So every tribe you befriend or destroy will net you rewards, new cosmetics, and huts. Once you're ready to actually progress in this mode, you'll need instruments or weapons to target the many different tribes that only care for themselves and will not attack each other, unlike in the civilization stage later on.
Get on with it! Yes! Get on with it!
We'll cover the peaceful way of beating the stage first, that being socializing with instruments and gifts. So get your tribe to equip instruments. As you unlock more, you'll need to equip those as well. Otherwise, when the other tribe requests the instrument you don't have, they'll get angry and your progression bar won't fill up to the max. As for how this works, it's just like the creature stage social activity. Just hit the 1, 2, or 3 button for whatever instrument they request. Eventually, once the bar is full, they'll be happy, your relationship goes up, and depending on the level, you'll have to either do this one more time or several. Afterwards, you get a totem piece, and new tribes will spawn in. As for the other route you can take, well, that's genocide yet again of other tribes, wiping them out of existence as well as history altogether.
Oh, darn, that's awesome! That's really awesome!
Just give your tribe members some weapons, or not if they got some good combat parts from the creature stage still on them. Then click on the other tribe you want to attack after you switch from the social option in the UI to the combat one. Now, you watch as your tribe begins the bloodshed. Your end goal is, of course, to destroy the enemy's tribe's main hut. Without that, they lose everything. It's their capital building, their flag, their king. Destroy it and it's over for them. But be careful, as they will hatch new members to grow up and attack you. Plus, the chieftain will respawn over time, just as yours will too. Rinse and repeat, 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 rinse and repeat. This is just like socializing till everyone is either friend or worm food. And that's all there is to this mode. You have no direct control. It's just point and click, then watch stuff happen. Not that much fun when you get down to it, I'm afraid. So here's a major problem with this mode. Get ready.
Uh-oh.
One of the worst issues with this stage, besides how clunky it is, has to do with the fact you're all alone. Even if you make allies, all they will do is bring you baskets of food every now and then, and that's it. They will never aid you in war or to protect your tribe's base from destruction. It's awful how isolated things are, yet appearance-wise you'd think otherwise.
He ain't lying.
Even in the creature stage, allied creatures would assist you if you were in range of them, so making allies was worthwhile there. It made survival much easier. You always had someone to add to your followers, to combat epics even. But here, nah fam, you're all alone, and you better get used to it. The only pro to making allies is they won't attack or steal from you. So there's one less threat surrounding you. TL. DR.
It sucking fucks, it fucking sucks, it fucking blows, it's a piece of shit, and I don't like it.
Overall, this stage fucking sucks and I absolutely hate it. Though this was one of my smoothest experiences with Tribal Stage. Just trying to navigate Age of Empires Fisher Price Edition isn't that good. But anyways, after you ally with or eliminate all the other tribes, it's over, and time to move on to a much better stage. And the last one that's any fun. Will Wright's Civilization. As you enter the Civilization stage, you'll need two things, a city hall and a vehicle based on your former tribe's way of life. If you're in the middle, you'll end up as a trader. If green, religion. If red, military. So make your vehicle in the vehicle creator. You'll get to choose your cosmetics and add different parts that increase its speed, health, and or power of trade, religion, or combat. The creator is fine, but all the vehicles act the same within those three categories of religion, trade, and military. This means no matter what you put on it, nothing will change it. It's purely cosmetic. All war vehicles shoot missiles on the ground and in the water. Meanwhile, air vehicles shoot a laser beam. Overall, it's okay, but you can see where the steam started to leave Maxis during development at this point. As for the building creator, There's no statistics for them, it's just what you want it to look like. Some parts can move or have lights, so there's that, but otherwise, just make a city hall, house, entertainment building, and factory. Those are your building categories needed for civilization and space stage. I like building things a bit more than creating vehicles, especially for galactic adventures, since you can make interior parts for structures to make a whole building to explore. You can't really ride or get into vehicles in Spore, so yeah. Otherwise, it's a fine little editor, but we gotta get into the gameplay portion of the stage.
Oh, no shit.
In this stage, your currency goes from food to spice, for the spice must flow.
Alright, everyone! He said it! We can go home now! Gift bags at the door!
Get to setting up mines over geysers, and your income will increase over time. With money, you can place new buildings, buy more vehicles, place turrets on your city walls, and even use it to build relationships with other nations. At this point, only your species exists at this level of power and sentience as you, so there will be no other Spore creature rising up and setting off a game of command and conquer. So just like humans only exist to blow each other up over natural resources and global domination, and there's a total of 3 ways you can advance through the civilization stage.
Tell me more.
Religion, trade, and military means of conquest exist in this stage. What you have is dependent on your ended tribal stage with. For my creature, it was the middle road all the way up to this point, so we got what I considered the best abilities. Now we can use various forms of tech to advance our way to global trade domination. After you conquer 6 cities, the last can be taken out over with a single ultimate weapon, whether it's a nuclear Armageddon if you're a military type, or preferably economic propaganda blimps. Once the entire planet is yours, there's nothing else to really do besides claim all the spice mines and do some last minute editing to your buildings, vehicles, and people's outfit, as it's time to finally advance ourselves to the very last stage of Spore, and one of the worst, right behind Tribal.
Space!
The very last creator in Spore is the Spaceship Creator, where there's nothing but cosmetics to create whatever you want. Maybe something Star Trek-y, Star Wars-y, Babylon 5-y, Doctor Who-y, Stargate-y.
Relative dimensions in space?
Nerd!
So make whatever you want. I just throw stuff together since nothing matters here, it's just appearance, which makes it one of the most boring creators next to the Cell Creator, or even the early Creature Creator at the beginning of Creature Stage. I mean, even cars, boats, and planes have stats for parts. Whatever though, after we make our own spaceship, it's time to finally get into the space stage and explore what very little it has to offer to us. So, now that you have a spaceship, it's time to explore. And by explore, I mean point and click and scroll up and down to zoom in and out of the star systems, galaxy, and of course, planets themselves. Ugh, this sucks. There's no fun to be had. Traveling around is so clunky and unintuitive. It feels so wrong and disgusting to play. I don't like it at all. Things are really bad as you try to move from star system to star system, especially because sometimes a star is too far to move to even though it looks close. You also have to remember, the whole galaxy is 3D, so stars are below and above you too. So you're just struggling to find the right star to go to just to get to another one you actually want, which will eat up your energy level. If it empties, you blow up and lose progress. You gotta find other empires or go back to your own to recharge. But only your home planet will recharge your energy gauge for free. Yeah. Exploring space, you'll come across other empires, and if you're not careful with your words or are just unlucky to find a hostile empire, then get ready for galactic warfare. Otherwise, maybe kiss their asses for a bit and make friends with them. Allies are useful in helping you against hostile empires that chase you into their turf, but also can become followers, just like in creature stage, as you grow your rank. If you want to grow your economy and influence, it's best to set up a trade route with other empires. If you got a decent relationship with someone, propose a trade route with them. Over time, a gauge will fill up. If you have enough money, you can buy their star system off of them, further growing your own empire. But to get this, you may have to gift them some money first or do missions. It's fine, but nothing great. Combat in this stage is the worst of all. I hate it. It's so clunky trying to target tiny ships flying around you, and you gotta manually attack too, so good luck trying to lock your weapons onto them. It's easy early on because it's a tutorial section, but after that, you're up shit creek without a paddle. I hate the combat, but there's something good about Space Stage. You wanna know what it is? The only good thing about the space stage is your captain can go on adventures with Galactic Adventures installed, gaining new ranks, unlocking new tools for combat, socializing, and survival. But without it, Spore Space Stage is without a doubt a Department of Home Motor Vehicles experience. Even then, not all adventures are made equal and require different levels of a captain. You'll need certain levels of social skills or high levels of combat to survive or complete several of them. But outside of that, Spore Space Stage sucks. Let's just cover the end goal and be done. I'm tired of covering this portion of the game. I just want to go back to making and playing adventures instead. Your end goal is basically just keep playing. There's no real ending to Spore, at least not in the way you'd expect. You can try to make it towards the center of the galaxy, but that's not exactly something you can easily do. You'll be dealing with the Groks, and they're the most guarded secret. Plus, to even get anywhere close enough to deal with the Groks, it'll take hours upon hours upon hours upon hours of scrolling into planets and stars and scrolling back out of them. Yeah, not worth it. Overall, the space stage fucking sucks. And if it wasn't for the Galactic Adventures expansion pack, there would be zero reason to even play at this point. After Civilization, you might as well start a new game on a new planet and try out different paths with the 3 ways of evolution. Anyways, that does it for this gameplay, for the gameplay of Spore. Yep, we're done. Let's move on to the other section and be done with this game. Finally. As for the other section, we need to talk about the music. Oh lord, the music! Spore's soundtrack is so relaxed and unique, combining different cues based on what's happening in-game to actual handcrafted tracks. Spore's soundtrack, alongside the Galactic Adventures expansion, is cinematic, orchestrated magic. And finally, after a long journey, it has come to an end like all things must. Nothing is forever, as all stars must burn out. We have finally covered Spore and its expansions. Eventually, there will be a compilation at the end of the year, but for now, thank you for being part of this. We went from ranting about the mediocrity of creepy and cute to admiring the best of Spore via Galactic Adventures and finally covering the core game itself. I'm glad to have finally covered Spore and its expansions. Now, let's wrap things up. At the end of the day, Spore is a unique game that has its faults, yet it's also so much fun despite its controversial past. If you had to play this game, be sure to get the GOG version or Steam version. Avoid Origin/EA app, as they like to revoke access to your games at random. Spore is well worth the buy. Most of my problems are minor, and nothing that really holds it back from being fun. Maybe one day Spore will have a spiritual successor, or even a sequel, but only time will tell. Till then, however, we have Spore to keep us occupied for many, many more years to come, just creating, evolving, conquering, trading, and adventuring across the galaxy, enjoying one of the best games of all time. Anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later.